Hello all, welcome to Advanced Engineering Physics. This is Unit 4, Magnetic and Dielectric Materials. So, I am Dr. S. Deepthi, Assistant Professor in Physics, Department of H&S, MLR Institute of Technology. So, in this video lecture, we are going to learn about Introduction to Magnetic Materials and Origin of Magnetic Moment Classification. Okay, so before starting into the magnetic materials and dielectric materials, let us have some basic definitions regarding magnetic materials. Then followed by dielectric materials. After completion of magnetic materials chapter, you will be following the dielectric materials chapter. Okay, so what are magnetic materials? What is basic magnetism? Magnetism means attractive power between two objects. Is it magnetism? Yes. Earth is a Hughes magnet. We know that Earth is a Hughes magnet. Why Earth is considered as a Hughes magnet? Yes. Why? Because magnetic lines of force follows all through the earth, surrounds the earth, and due to this magnetic lines of force only, many objects are going to attract one another. But magnetic lines of force or magnetic field is different from gravitational force. Okay, so what is a magnet? Anything that attracts the other things, it is a magnet. So basically magnets, magnetites will be there on earth, and this magnetite is going to attract iron like fillings and so on, metals, materials, so that such that these become into magnetic materials. So we learn about all these things in this unit. Before going into depth, let us have focus on basic definitions. What are the basic definitions? So here, see the figure over here. Magnetism is a phenomena by which material exerts attractive or repulsive force on one another. Yes, we have already talked about this one right now. When a magnet freely suspended on any Earth's place, it always comes to rest within the axis along north and south direction. So this shows the existence of magnetic field at every point on Earth's surface, so that Earth is called as a Hughes magnet. The magnetism of materials is a consequence of magnetic moment, interactions of constituent atoms and molecules. Thus, the materials are magnetized when they are placed in magnetic field or called as magnetic materials. So, magnetism means the attractive power between the two magnets. It is called as magnetism. Two objects, it is called as magnetism. So, with this attractive power, what we can do? We can do permanent magnets. We can do we can have magnetic lines of force. As you might have known up to now, whenever there is a magnetic field, there will be a electric field around. Whenever there is electric field, there will be a magnetic field around. So, electromagnetism concept is a good concept, and also it is very useful in our life. So, see here, there are some applications of a magnetic field. Magnetic field induced arrangement, MNPs only, MNPs matrix. Orderly manufactured basic construction, order to magnetism, magnetism to order. So, this is a construction mechanism is given over here. And what are the applications? There are so many applications: bio-inspired fabrication, magnetized materials, materials with magnets, materials with iron fillings and magnets, self-based research, so many others are there. Interdisciplinary research, safety, functional and structural diversity. These are so many examples of magnetic materials and applications of magnetic materials. So, now the basic definitions, starting with the basic definitions. What are the basic definitions? So, magnetic dipole. Dipole means the existence of magnet in two poles. Generally, the magnet will be existing in two poles. What are the two poles? That all we know that there are two poles, South Pole and North Pole. So, North Pole, South Pole, these are the two poles. Forever, even though the magnet is very minute also, it is not exist as a monopoly. It is only existed with both poles, dipoles. Okay. So, what is dipole moment? Now, what is magnetic dipole? Two equal and opposite magnetic poles separated by small distance is called as magnetic dipole. So, two equal and opposite magnetic poles separated by a small fixed distance. It is not small fixed distance. It is called as magnetic dipole. magnetic dipole moment. The product of pole strength of the magnet and the length of the magnet is called as magnetic dipole moment. It is given by ml is equals to 2lm into 2lm into m units ampere per meter square. So magnetic dipole means there are two poles existing, two dipoles existing, two magnets existing, and with the two magnets, the two dipoles are separated by a distance. It is called as magnetic dipole, and dipole moment is the product of pole strength and length of the magnet. So m is equals to 2lm into m, right? Capital M is equals to magnetic field. The space surrounded by a magnet where the magnetic influence experience is called as magnetic field. Yes, in intermediate you might have seen some experiment. I'll recall that experiment. We'll take a magnet, north and south, and if you place a compass over the north pole or south pole, what does it tell? It will give just, it will always try to move to towards the south pole. So these are the lines of force. This is the one way to represent the magnetic lines of force, where as we go further apart, then the magnetic lines of force will be separated. The distance between them increases, and where we come to nearer to the magnet, the distance between the magnetic lines of force will be decreasing. So this is the representation that you might have seen in your intermediate. So now the space surrounded by the magnet and its magnetic influence is experienced is called as magnetic field. This phase, this where the lines of force are existing, this is known as a magnetic field. Now, magnetic field intensity. The force experienced by unit north pole placed at a point on magnetic field is called as magnetic field intensity. So, if we apply a force, the force experienced by the unit north pole placed at a point in the magnetic field is called as magnetic field intensity. It is a measure of magnetic field. So remember, these definitions are very, very important in order to recall all about magnetism in future. Okay, in future or in further lessons. Okay, so you need to remember each and every definition separately. Okay, that's why we focus on basic definitions first of all. Okay, so if F is the force experienced by unit north pole placed at a point in a magnetic field, small m is the pole strength of the magnet, then H is equals to F by m. This is what? The magnetic field intensity. So you need to remember all these things. Why? Because these basic definitions, if you remember these basic definitions, then only you can move further easily. So at sometimes will tell as a magnetic field intensity, magnetic flux density, and so on. Whenever the thing appears into your mind, you need to focus on the particular, you need to go to the definition and particularly remember the definition. Okay, so now magnetic flux. The total number of magnetic lines of force passing normally through a surface is called as magnetic flux. Here see, these are the number of lines of force. So we can say this as the entire thing as a magnetic field, and these are the magnetic lines of force. So magnetic flux means what? The total number of magnetic lines of force passing normally through a surface is called as a magnetic flux. Weber or Tesla per meter square, it is the unit. Now, the number of magnetic lines of force passing normally through a surface is called as magnetic field induction or magnetic flux density. Passing through unit area, magnetic flux density, capital B, is equals to phi by A. B is equals to phi by A. Okay, it is vector quantity Weber per meter square. Now, the magnetic moment per unit volume of the material is called as intensity of magnetization. So, it is different from magnetic flux density. Magnetic field intensity is different from magnetic flux density. So, magnetic field intensity is phi by A, unit surface area. Okay, so the number of lines of force passing through surface unit area is called as magnetic field induction or magnetic flux density. Remember about flux density. Okay, now the magnetic moment per unit volume of the material is called as intensity of magnetization. Magnetic moment per unit volume is called as intensity of magnetization. So Here, if M is the magnetic moment and V is the volume of the magnet, then the intensity of magnetization I is equals to M by V. Okay. Now coming to another definition. If M is the pole strength, 2L is the length of the magnet and A is the area of the magnet, then I is equals to M into 2L by A into 2L, M by A. This is another definition for intensity of magnetization, that is equals to M by A. I is equals to M by V, or capital M by V, or small m by A. Pole strength by the unit area. It is also known as intensity of magnetization, or magnetic moment per unit volume is also known as intensity of magnetization. Next, magnetic susceptibility. The intensity of magnetization produced in a material is directly proportional to the magnetizing field. Okay, intensity of magnetization. I means what we need to remember about intensity of magnetization. It is magnetic moment per unit volume or magnetic pole strength per unit area. These two definitions you need to remember in your mind. Okay, so now coming to magnetic susceptibility. So susceptibility plays an important role throughout the magnetism lesson. So what is susceptibility? The intensity of magnetization produced in a material is directly proportional to the magnetizing field H. I is directly proportional to H, or I is equals to psi into H. Psi is equals to I by H. It is known as our magnetic susceptibility. Okay, so the susceptibility of material is a measure of capacity of the material to acquire magnetization. So this is the mathematical representation. Psi is equals to I by H. Okay, psi is equals to I by H is the mathematical representation. Now, what is the definition of susceptibility? How can we measure the susceptibility? The susceptibility of magnetic material is a measure of capacity of the material to acquire magnetization. Okay. Now, magnetic permeability. When a magnetic material is placed in a magnetic field, it acquires magnetism due to induction. Okay. The lines of force of magnetizing field concentrate inside the material, and this results in the magnetizing of the field. The measure of degree to which the force can penetrate into the medium is called as permeability of the medium. So, what is permeability? It is the measure of imprinted force into the medium. Okay, into the magnetic field or into the magnetic medium is called as permeability of the medium. Okay, the magnetic flux density B is directly proportional to the magnetic field intensity H. Okay, B is directly proportional to H, or B is equals to mu H. Mu is equals to B by H. So, you need to remember mu is equals to B by H, where mu is a constant proportionally known as the permeability of the medium. The magnetic flux density in air or vacuum is B naught is equals to mu naught into H. Okay, so mu naught is equals to 4.10 to the power of minus 7 Henry per meter is the permeability of air or vacuum. By knowing the values of B naught and H, we can calculate the value of, scientists have calculated the value of mu naught as 4.10 to the power of minus 7 Henry per meter. Okay. Now, coming to magnetization. The magnetic moment per unit volume developed inside the solid is called as magnetization. It is the process of converting non-magnet into a magnet. Magnetization means it is the process of converting a non-magnet into a magnet. Two types of magnetic lines of force arises. One is due to the field H and the other is due to the intensity of magnetization. Okay. So, one is due to the field and another is due to the intensity of magnetization. So, B is equals to B naught plus Bi. B naught means mu naught H. Bi means mu naught I. So, mu naught H plus I. Okay. This is about B. Now, what is the relationship between permeability and magnetic susceptibility? So, we need to know the relationship between permeability and magnetic susceptibility. So, the magnetic flux density in terms of magnetic field intensity is equals to B is equals to mu H. So, this is the thing that we know. B is equals to mu naught mu r into H. Okay. The total flux density due to the magnetic field intensity and intensity of magnetization is B is equals to mu naught into H plus I. So where does this come? So mu is equals to mu naught into mu r. Do you know about this? Mu naught is the permeability in air medium, and mu r is the permeability in a medium. So mu is equals to mu naught mu r into H. This is the relationship between B and H. Now the total flux density due to magnetic field intensity and intensity of magnetization is B is equals to mu naught into H plus I. So mu naught is now substituting these two, equating 1 and 2. So on equating 1 and 2, mu naught mu r H is equals to mu naught H plus I. Okay. So mu r is equals to H plus I by H, or 1 plus I by H, or 1 plus I. So mu r is equals to 1 plus I is the relationship. So okay, psi is equals to, now what we can say, psi is equals to intensity, susceptibility is equals to I by H. This is what psi is. Okay. So till now you have learnt about basic definitions. Now coming to the origin of magnetic moment. So what is magnetic moment and what is its origin? Already we have discussed about magnetic moment, magnetic susceptibility, and what we can say, what are the magnetic lines of force, flux density and magnetic field intensity, and so on. Now origin of magnetic momentum. Where does this magnetic moment originates? So in atoms, the permanent magnetic moment can arise due to the following factors. So there are three terms to tell about the permanent magnetic momentum. One is original motion of electron, next electron spin and nuclear spin. These three are the key factors to denote the magnetic momentum. So now first coming to the first, the orbital motion of the electron. The atom in any material consists of central nucleus and electrons revolve around the nucleus in the specific orbit. So this is the atomic representation with a central nucleus and surrounded by different orbitals, and electrons are just revolve around the nucleus in a particular different orbitals. Okay, this is the basic atomic model. Each electron orbit is equivalent to a tiny current loop and behaves as elementary magnet having magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so the beauty of here, origin of magnetic moment arises from the basic things like where we can have the nucleus and electrons revolve around the nucleus. So now each electron orbit is equivalent to the tiny circuit loop and behaves as elementary magnet having magnetic dipole moment. The total orbital magnetic moment of an atom is sum of orbital moments are of the individual electrons. Okay, so what is that one? The total orbital magnetic moment of an atom, total orbital magnetic moment of atom is the sum of magnetic moments of individual electrons. Okay, so now consider an electron of charge E and mass m revolving around the nucleus in an orbit of radius r with angular velocity. So we have given the specifications for the electron. The electron has a charge E, mass m, revolving around the nucleus in an orbit with of radius r with angular velocity. Okay, now electron spin. Each electron spinning about the axis through itself, and this spin is also gives rise to the magnetic dipole moment. So if consider electron is like this, then on spinning, okay, so it is going to spin in one direction and back to another direction, one direction back to another direction, and so on. So okay, the electron is spinning about the axis to itself, and the spin gives rise to the magnetic dipole moment. Due to this, only the magnetic dipole moment will be arising. Next, nuclear spin. In addition to the electron contribution, nuclear spin also contributes to magnetic moment of the atoms. So as we know that the electrons revolve around the nucleus, electrons are responsible for the magnetic moment as well as, now who is responsible for magnetic moment? Nucleus is also responsible for magnetic moment, right? So generally nuclear spin is very less compared with the magnetic moment of the electron. Therefore, we consider the resulting magnetic moment of the atom is the sum of the orbital and spin magnetic moment of the electron. Okay. So now where does the origin starts with? Origin of magnetic moment starts with the orbital motion of electrons, and also we have considered the electronic path and also nuclear spin. Okay. Now, consider an electron of charge E and mass m around the nucleus. So, see here, this is the angular velocity omega as shown in the figure. So, this is having angular velocity, that means the circularly it is revolving around. Now, we are going to calculate mathematically. Okay, charge of an electron is E, mass m is and mass m revolves around the nucleus in an orbit of radius r with angular velocity omega as shown in the figure. The circumference of circle is 2 pi r and the area of is about pi r square. Now, the linear velocity of electron v is equals to r omega. So, what we want to know? We want to know about the magnetic moment. Okay. So, now the moving electrons circulate through the nucleus in orbits are equivalent to current loops and produce the magnetic fields. So, magnetic fields are produced by electrical fields. Okay. So, circulate around the nucleus when the electron circulate around the nucleus, it produces a magnetic field as well as a electric field which is mutually perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay. The current loop acts like a magnet dipole and has a certain value of magnetic moment. So, the current in the orbit is equals to I is equals to E by T. Okay. E by T means T is equals to omega by 2 pi, the time period. So, E is the charge of electron, T is the time period. So, E omega by 2 pi is the current in the orbit. Okay. Now, the magnetic moment of electron is equals to mu electron is equals to I into A, area of cross section. If you multiply this I with A, we will get the magnetic moment of the electron E omega r square by 2. The angular moment of electron is E is equals to L is equals to mvr or mr square omega. Now, the ratio of magnetic moment to the angular moment of electron is known as gyromagnetic ratio. So, Y gamma electron is equals to mu electron by L, that is equals to E omega r square by 2 by mr square. Okay, just we are substituting these things. So, what is mu electron over here? E omega by r square by 2. This is the electron. Now, what is L over here? Okay, now this is equals to on cancelling E by 2m will be getting as E by 2m. Okay. Now, the magnetic moment and angular momentum of electron are opposite in direction. Okay. So, mu electron is equals to minus YEL into L or minus E by m into L. Okay. So, our magnetic momentum of electron is equals to mu L is equals to minus E by 2m into L. According to the modern atomic theory, the angular moment of electron is equals to L is equals to ILH by 2 pi, where L is the azimuthal quantum number. So, you might have listened about azimuthal quantum number, spin quantum number and principal quantum number, these quantum numbers, right? So, according to the modern atomic theory, the angular moment of electron is equals to L is equals to L by 2h. Okay. So, magnetic moment of mu L is equals to minus E by 2m into L by 2h. That is equals to E minus EHL by 4 pi m. That is equals to mu B into L. Okay. So, this is the magnetic moment is equals to minus mu B into L, where negative sign here means that it is moves in opposite direction. Okay. Here mu B is the Bohr magneton. Mu B is called as Bohr magneton. Now, spin magnetic moment of the electron. So, electron also spins, as we already explained in the previous slide. Electrons also spins as well as revolves around the nucleus. So, due to the spinning of the electrons, we can have the magnetic intensity or magnetic moment within the magnet. Okay. So, now coming to the magnetic moment of the electron. An electron circulates around the positively charged nucleus and rotates about its own axis. The magnetic moment associated with the electron is spin magnetic moment. Magnetic moment always associated with the electron is spin magnetic moment. Okay, mu es is equals to gamma es E by 2m into s. Okay, so where YES, gamma ES is known as a spin gyrometric ratio, which depends on the spinning of electrons and its charge distribution. Okay, so what happens here? Gamma ES is known as spin gyromagnetic ratio, which depends on spinning of the electron and its gyromagnetic and its charge distribution. Okay. So, gamma ES means gyromagnetic spin gyromagnetic ratio depends upon the spinning of the electron and its charge distribution. Now, coming to the spin magnetic moment of the nucleus. So, the magnetic moment produced by spin of the nucleus is spin magnetic momentum EH by 4 pi mp. Okay. So, finally, what we have learned today? We have learned about the basic definitions and also origin of magnetic moment. In the origin of magnetic moment, what we came across, whenever the magnetic moment of a revolving electron, an electron is there, revolve around the nucleus, then it do possesses some angular velocity and some original velocity. Charge of electron is E, and this is the movement of the electron. Okay, and also the orbital moment of the electron has the orbital magnetic moment of electron comes with the spinning of the electron and also movement of the electron within the circular axis. Okay, that's what we have learned about each and every the time period, the magnetic moment of electron, and also spin magnetic moment. Okay, so spin magnetic moment of electron is different from spin magnetic moment of this nucleus. Okay, mu es is equals to gamma es E by 2m into s. Okay, now spin magnetic moment of nucleus is magnetic moment is produced by the spin of the nucleus is mu ps is equals to EH by 4 pi mp. So, this is about the origin of magnetic moment. Thank you.